Greetings, Director Arketer here, and welcome labs, as is typically the case. If also technically unprovably. Nevertheless, it begins the SCP review, in which I have not selected an SCP in advance, but someone else did, which conveniently saves me from having to make a custom thumbnail. Though I did that anyway. I'll just reuse it because it's generic. Anyhow, greetings! I'm joined by Haven and or Seraph. You usually heard them before.
Hello.
They'll surely chime in as relevant. Greetings in chat to SnoopySN100K Shull, who chose the one we'll be starting off with, after Haven chose one first, but then decided that the one K Shull chose was better, and well, so we'll do that one first, then maybe do Haven's if no one else beats them to the punch. Also, greetings to your boy Pat, Assassin the Grey, and Idagger, Spook Scary, who was summoned by someone. It wasn't me, but I'm glad you're here regardless. Next is Hunter, and anyone else who might have snuck in when I wasn't looking. I hope the day finds you all well, even that should be increasingly probable, given the state of global affairs. But we're not all dead in nuclear fire yet, so let's keep on trucking. Greetings.
Such a shame, that.
Hold on. Are you immune to nuclear fire?
Well, that depends. I won't have a physical body anymore.
Not many people would if it goes really bad. Greetings, Professor. And Lord Gex. Glad you could make it. No new names, so try not to be intimidated by the fact that you don't have wrenches. It just means that any one of these people with wrenches could abuse their power to do something terrible to you at any given moment until we know your character. Greetings, Susan XT. Oh, I'm glad that you should enjoy this. Please note that we're all technically adults here, so there will probably be some cursing. It's not really for children, and we spent the past 5 years largely taunting them out of viewership. But in any case, you might learn something, so you can learn a cool detail about SCPs to tell your children, so you can prove that you're cool too.
Yeah, Yeet Squad fan.
Oh, we have another request, SCP-3862. If we get to, we need to find another one after this first one, then we will try that one if we haven't already done before, in which case we won't do it. However, I'm incredibly mercenary and can be bribed to do a wide range of very silly things, including read whatever SCP you wanted, whether we did it or not before. If you want like throw like $10 even, my standards are really low from this point. Just really gone down. And no worries. Otherwise, I do hope you enjoy the show. We'll start with SCP-5163 as requested by K. Shull and endorsed by Haven Hand, giving up their slot in the request anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Item, SCP-5163. Object class safe. I'll start with special training procedures and we'll basically trade off from the rest of these because it's pretty short in these first initial paragraphs. SCP-5163 is to be kept in a standard containment locker within Site-73. Any requests that involve the handling or removal of the object or its containment must be authorized by the site director. While handling SCP-5163, personnel should wear protective gloves and make sure to never allow their skin to come in contact with the object. In the case personnel, accidentally or not, touches SCP-5163, they are to be administered with amnestics and isolated for observation. Affected personnel is to be restored to their positions only when or if they no longer present significant symptoms of SCP-5163's effects. And I'm going to pause right there ever so briefly to let everyone know, since we have 10 concurrent viewers, that we're raffling off a game as well. The shady part of me, not the shady part of me, that's not for a raffle or sale, but the game Shady Part of Me, which is entirely work safe besides. We'll play the trailer for that after this SCP before choosing the next one. We'll move on to the next one, and then we can all have people sign up for the raffle. If you want to run on the game, all you have to do is tag me in chat at that point. Okay. Who wants to handle the description?
I can do that.
Okay.
Description: SCP-5163 appears to be a teddy bear measuring approximately 26 centimeters in height, with a creamy white fur and light blue details. When a human makes physical contact with SCP-5163, the subject will instantly develop a certain level of emotional attachment to the object. With the intensity of this effect and the way it manifests over the victims varies with each case. However, it often causes the subjects to consider SCP-5163 as something of extreme importance to themselves. The use of amnestics has proven to be relatively effective in healing affected subjects, although in a few cases subjects develop symptoms of depression after the amnesticization. No other anomalous properties were observed.
I think Orla might not be able to get to this next part. Oh, yes, they
No,
are.
I'm here.
Oh, then would like to continue with...
The discovery, right?
Yes.
SCP-5163 was acquired by the Foundation on the 29th of the 4th, 2009, which a group of 3 field agents who were working on an unrelated assignment accidentally found the object in an abandoned house from a rural zone of Texas, which they were planning to occupy for the days needed to complete their duties. After installing surveillance cameras in and outside the house, Agent Nicholas Campbell noticed SCP-5163 on a table inside a room of the house. The object was above a small piece of paper which caught his attention. After grabbing the object to get the paper, Agent Nicholas immediately began to act unusually due to the effects of SCP-5163. The following transcript of the video recording during the incident. And then there's the video log.
Indeed, and we have rules for, let's see, 1, 2, 3. Happily, it seems to be just the 3. That's perfect.
Yay.
That's an agent for each of us. So you can all choose between yourselves who wants to be Coulson, Nicholas, or Reynolds, and I'll just take whatever's left, because I'm humbled that way.
I want to be Nicholas, if it's okay with you.
Everyone has Nicholas.
I'll take Coulson.
That leaves me with Agent Reynolds, the one who probably has the best mustache.
The only one with a mustache.
Upon grabbing the object, Agent Nicholas starts smiling and staring at it. He then begins to rub the object against his face.
Hey Nick, what the hell are you doing? Stop playing around, dude. We got work to do here.
I know, but isn't this little boy the cutest thing ever? I can't leave it here alone. That's it. I will carry it with me during the rest of our mission, and I want to take it home too.
What are you talking about, Nick? You okay? We have no time, no waste here. Did you forget that SCP Redacted escaped and we're here looking for evidence of his current whereabouts? Why are you acting like a child? You are not like this. Just throw this damn bear away and focus on the mission.
I'm not understanding you guys. Would you really abandon something this precious in such an isolated and dangerous place? Damn, it seems like you two are crueler than I thought.
You can't be serious. Let me just get rid of this stupid toy for you.
Agent Coulson then approaches Nicholas and slaps away the object from his hands.
Coulson, you bastard! What did it do to you? How can you treat my dear and cute friend like this? You better have a good explanation, because I'm truly pissed off now.
Wait a minute. You are right. Oh no, what have I done? I am so ashamed now. I will never forgive myself for this.
I won't forgive you either, Coulson.
Nicholas then proceeds to punch Coulson, who doesn't react and falls to the ground. Agent Reynolds then holds back Nicholas, preventing him to cause more harm to Coulson. Guys, just stop. What's going on with you two? Are you truly fighting over a damn teddy bear? Pretty sure both of you'd get fired if our superiors find out about this.
This damn teddy bear is my best friend now. I don't care if I get fired because of it, Reynolds, and I can't forgive Coulson for hurting him like that. Let go of me, Reynolds. I want to kill him.
Yeah, he is right, Reynolds. I can't live anymore knowing that I caused harm to our precious friend. That means the world to me. I can't understand why I did something so terrible. To be honest, at this point, I don't really care about my life anymore, so go on ahead. Kill me, guys. Make justice for the coolest and cutest teddy bear of all time.
Agent Coulson remains laying on the ground, seemingly depressed. Okay, guys, I'm sorry, but I can't allow this situation to continue. At this point, Agent Reynolds applies a sedative on Agent Nichols, who soon falls unconscious. Coulson, I hope I won't need to do the same to you. I believe we are dealing with something anomalous here, and I will contact Foundation and request reinforcements. Agent Reynolds then contacts the Foundation, explains the situation, asks for reinforcements, while Agent Coulson doesn't show any changes in behavior. 25 minutes later, Foundation personnel arrives at locale. Both Agents Nicholas Campbell and Coulson Jones were treated with amnestics and removed from the mission for observation and psychological evaluation, being replaced by 2 other agents, while SCP-5163 was contained without further incidents. Although both agents are currently unable to remember their interaction with SCP-5163, they occasionally still claim they feel as if something is missing. Addendum 1. Agent Nicholas Campbell was deemed as free of any effects regarding SCP-5163 on 25/08/2013 after stating they no longer feels anything unusual, while Agent Coulson Jones still claims to feel an unexplainable emptiness, which could mean that SCP-5163's effects might affect certain individuals more than others. Nonetheless, both agents are currently able to perform their duties without any significant problems. Addendum 2. The piece of paper found together with the object had the following writing by an unknown subject. Did someone want to read this one, or shall I?
I want to.
Right, very good then.
I'm so sorry, Kenny, but I can't stay here anymore. I need to be strong and leave you behind, even though that feels almost impossible to me. My heart is falling apart, and I'm crying so much while writing this, because I'm 100% sure that I will never again find anything as cute as and as amazing as you are. But I truly need to go, as I've been spending more than 15 hours just playing with you every day, and I need to focus on something else for now. But know that you're always on my mind, and to be honest, I will probably return to be with you sooner or later, so please just wait for me. This house is yours now.
Sounds like someone had a lot of willpower to break that teddy bear's hold.
That is impressive, although they gave it an entire house, so what they had in willpower they seem to lack in common sense.
Yes.
Honestly, I'm suspecting this was a trap. What are the odds that some random field agents investigating something else would happen to wind up in the one house that was given wholesale to a teddy bear?
Well, it's obviously been abandoned for a while because the teddy bear is a teddy bear and not one of those murder bears that you have some of. So it wouldn't be able to do upkeep on the house. And Foundation agents are more likely to stake out at an abandoned house than one currently occupied.
It's a Foundation of us. Who can say for certain? But I do find it suspect. Anyhow, before we move on, and it looks like we'll be doing SCP-3862 next, provided we haven't done it before. We have a game to raffle off. Let's watch the trailer for it.
There once was a girl who was trapped in the dark, with naught but her shadow for company. A journey to escape she did embark, and her shadow followed distrustfully. She ventured and climbed, fought with tooth and nail, straining to escape a world of nightmares. Inevitably, the darkness prevailed. The girl found no hope in light, but despair. Don't cry. All is not lost, called out a voice. If you give up, forever you will stay. The girl cried out, I'm trapped, I have no choice. Her shadow smiled. With me there is a way. Hand in hand, we break free from this nether. Step by step, we will rise together.
I have no idea who Hannah Murray is. The name does sound weirdly familiar.
Yeah.
But I agree with your boy Pat, that is very Little Nightmares-y. He's absolutely right about that. Very Little Nightmares-y. If you would like to enter the raffle for this game, no YouTube. I will need a way to send you a message, be it Discord or Twitter DM. If you have access to the Arklab's Volunteer Reserve Discord server, that will make things easier. That said, first I need to know if you want this game. If you do, please do tag me in the chat. Just let me know that way, if you could. There's only one person... You're in?
Do I also need to tag you in the chat?
No, I suppose not in this case. But people who cannot speak to me directly with their voices using their mouth to articulate sounds, then you might want to tag me in the chat to inform me that you are interested in this game. Otherwise, Haven just gets it by default, but I'll still click on how we're going to raffle it off. Using random.org, it will be decided by number rolls. Closest to 100 wins. And we've had some very weird wins. Very weird wins. Now, I believe that was an attempt to tag me, Susan Eckstein. I will probably need to get some means of contacting you later if you should win, but I suppose one thing at a time. And Lord Gexit as well. Certainly this is going to go a lot easier than last week's dating sim. Also, this one's a little bit more thematic. I'm not complaining though. Remember, I didn't buy this. This was all donated. Every last game I've raffled off so far by Exodus. So I'm just grateful that I have games to raffle off. I'm glad that I didn't have to play it myself in the case of the Ding Sim. That was something that... Yeah. Greetings, Kefki, and anyone else who snuck in when I wasn't looking. Okay, let's see about this next SCP.
I did not hear which number you said.
That's fine, because I didn't remember it either. That's why I copied it before then. It doesn't look familiar so far.
Let's see, Series 4.
3862. Number rolls dangerously. But I think...
Gentleman Classist.
I'm pretty sure this is one we haven't done before, which means we're good. Oh, very good then. It's in the X team. You know, I'm just going to go and do the reckless thing and provide a link to Arklab's Volunteer Reserve Discord, where, furthermore, you can observe all the shows I'm on, as I'm the only person allowed to promote them in general. Some people do try on occasion, but there's a separate channel for all our promotional efforts. You don't have to use general. I don't have to use general. I'm just the only one who can get away with it, because it's my server. I don't claim many abusable executive privileges. I claim that. Well, in any case, please do, if you want, join the server, which will make finding you later on, if necessary, much easier. Though I'm not geographically, which is why I like it. I don't want to be found out. Okay, let's move on with SCP 3862, and if anyone else wants that game, you can just tag Director Arketer in the chat here. let me know that you want in on it too. But just... So far we have Haven, Suzanne, and Lord Gex. I keep misplacing my clipboard for this, because I mean to use a clipboard every time. But I keep tossing it, and then I can't find out where it went afterwards. And I never find it before showtime. And I should use some sort of filthy notebook. It's not really filthy, but it's been crumpled, because I know it looks very orderly from your perspective. That's by design. I go through a lot of trouble to ensure that there's no clutter behind me. Everything in front of me, besides the camera, probably shouldn't be there.
I have a suggestion to make. You could
Oh?
always just if there's room on the wall, you could always put a nail there. Most clipboards are designed with like a hole in the clip, so you can just put it there, and then it'll be ready for you every single time.
Well, that is actually a very practical way to go about it, but I should keep in mind in the future, and we'll probably forget before the show is over. In any case, time is slipping away, and we have no idea how long this one's going to be. SCP-3862. Item class is Euclid. Assigned Site 54. Site Director, Dr. Andrea Goltz. Research Head, Dr.
Kurtz.
Jamie Forrester. Assigned MTF Z8, The Last to Fall. That is the most boring MTF name I think I've seen yet. It's always a lot more amusing, in my opinion, when it's like tangoing pineapples. This is, according to Orla just now in chat as opposed to call, a bit long, so we might wind up in overtime. If it gets terribly long into overtime, then when we should usually shut down, I'll instead do the raffle. Special containment procedures, and in this case we can alternate between paragraphs because they're all really tiny. SCP-3862 is secured in 3 biological containment lockers in the Antiquities Vault at Site-54. Under no circumstances are all 3 objects to be studied together without prior written approval by the current HMCL supervisor or the current site director. All testing events should be conducted in a Class A sterile laboratory, and researchers involved must undergo thorough decontamination procedures after being exposed to any of the 3862 objects. And, read 2 after I said we're going to alternate for each. My mistake. Haven?
Yeah. In the event of a containment breach, Site 54 will enter immediate biocontamination lockdown, and all personnel must present immediately at the closest decontamination facility to prevent the spread of SCP 3862-Epsilon, I think it is. The unofficial disinformation campaign, originally conceived by the Portuguese aristocracy, was largely successful in removing all mention of the relationship between Eleanor Tavora and Lucien Dutoit. Maybe.
I refuse to say it any other way than do it to it.
Due to it.
Due to it.
Due to it. And this campaign is currently being maintained by the Foundation and its assets.
The .aic has been tasked with monitoring web traffic and academic correspondence for reference to the Marquise de Abrantz and her relationships. Any mention of Lucien Dutoit is to be immediately tagged and sent to the current SCP-3862 head researcher for review. Note: research into SCP-3862 has recommenced under the direction of Dr. Jamie Forrester, C-3862 Doc 01 for more details.
Greetings in chat, Spectre, Pound 79, and Bijetin. Also, we've hit 13 likes, meaning this stream has been a success. Okay,
Hang on.
description. I suppose we can trade off on the item descriptions here. SCP-3862 collectively refers to 3 separate objects previously owned by the Marquesa de Abrantes. Eleanor de Piedad de la Costa de Telvora and her paramour, Sir Lucian, due to it. SB-3862A, a Victorian-era letterbox inlaid with mother of pearl and lacquered with a solution that includes significant traces of human blood. A footnote here is that, let's see, DNA analysis indicates the presence of human DNA from two different individuals, one of which possessed markers indicating it was from a haplogroup in M231, a Y chromosome DNA haplogroup typical in northern Eurasia. It is believed that the inhabitants of Aditum were among this haplogroup.
Let's see, SCP-3862-B, an ornate wall sconce grown from human bone.
SCP-3862-C, an ornate table carved from a Keterin-like substance. Sorry.
No, keratin. Close enough. We're not too picky here.
Analysis indicates that this is also human in origin, although specific process by which this much Keterin is produced is currently unknown, though is likely charismatic in nature. Sorry, that was bad.
Shall we put it? Unorthodox meat connoisseur such as yourself, carnomantic is basically, that should be right.
Words are hard.
Meatmancer. Carnomantic. Meatmancy.
Yay.
It's just a good word. I would think that you probably learn something you can use here on out. Meatmancer.
So basically, Carnomancer is like the live version of a necromancer.
Well, no, because most meat being eaten is dead, so they're really much closer to necromancy than anyone. Which raises some questions. Couldn't a actual, genuine necromancer have a tremendous amount of fun in a butcher shop?
Yes.
And if they control dead things, does it really matter if it's cooked or not? I mean, they could just reanimate steaks wholesale. Maybe have some roast chickens put on performance before dinner. But
I'm thinking flesh atronachs.
Edible flesh atronachs.
Delectable.
Fried chicken that feeds itself to you. Well, that's enough off topic. All three objects, as well as letters containing SCP-3862-A, are hosts to two previously unknown and unique strains of Vibrio vulnificus bacteria that, when combined with each other, manifest in a virulent pathogenic contagion designated SCP-3862, whatever that is. This bacterial manifestation is highly resistant to all commonly known antimicrobial therapies and is considered biologically immortal. It is to be noted that SCP-3862 only becomes active when both strains are present. Attached addenda. We've got paragraphs to work with here. Shall I
can do the first one.
You can start.
SCP-3862 was first acquired by the Foundation in 1952 during the renovation of the Palace of Santos, the former seat of House of Abrantes and the current French embassy in Lisbon, Portugal. While the palace had been used for some time by the French government as a de facto embassy, it was formally acquired by France in 1909, and by 1951 it was in need of major renovation to update the internal facilities, as well as repair to several structural elements.
It was during these renovations that the first hidden entrance to a small chapel was discovered in what had once been the bedchamber of the Marquise Eleanor Lancaster et Tavre. Upon further investigation, an additional hidden entrance and hallway was discovered that connected the chapel to a... Sorry, my bloody phone keeps turning off. To a guest bedroom now believed to have been occupied by a member of the French diplomatic mission to Portugal, Sir Lucian Du Trois.
Inclined to indulge a French name like that. And again, I'm going to call it Dutoit just because it might make a Frenchman mad. Very little was documented by the initial discovery of this chapel and its contents. The workers and staff assigned the renovation of that area were all exposed to the pathogenic contagion associated with SCP-3862 and quickly succumbed to rapid onset bacterial infection. Due to the anomalous attributes associated with this disease and the contents of the chapel itself, the Foundation was loaded by assets embedded in the consulate staff, and the embassy was immediately placed under quarantine. It is unclear how the initial outbreak was contained. Many of the Foundation personnel assigned to the acquisition of SCP-3862 were also exposed to 3862 and subsequently expired. Not knowing the extent of the contamination, successive personnel destroyed all the reports and research material originally associated with SCP-3862. While this was apparently successful in containing the outbreak of SCP-3862, the majority of the information surrounding the acquisition of SCP-3862 and its location wherein it was found was lost. Additional research, and I'm guessing this is where we're going to go in overtime. How shall we handle this? We have... how many things here? Lots of letters to read. Oh yeah, we're going to be here for a while, aren't we? I'm thinking we should just assign letters based upon which of these POI wrote them. Or are they all Lucian? No, we've got Eleanor, we've got Lucian, and we've got... no, Eleanor and Lucian. Okay. I suppose... But one of you want to be Eleanor. I assume there's an abbess involved here too. Or Marquesa, rather.
Oh, I was looking at the additional research part.
Yes, well, that's we're getting there. I'm trying to get ahead of this. Well, tell me, why don't you start us off with this background on the Marquesa de Abrantes. Member to 3862 BUCKO 1, member to site director. Or would you rather me do this, because that first name is it's a bit of a thing.
Yeah, sure.
Nota Pieta de Lancas Adeptava, 8th Marquess de Abrantes. Also, 15th Countess of Penagualao and the 11th Countess of Villanova de Portmanteau. I'm not sure I've said that right, and I don't care. B. January 19th, 1836. The presently unknown first child of Pedro Maria de Piedad de Lancaster Almeria, Sa Menezes, 1816 to 1854, 7th Marquess de Abrantes, ascended to the peerage upon the death of her father in 1847, though the majority of her responsibilities were handled by her uncle, Joao de Merede de Lancaster el Tabor. Yeah, once you put funny things over letters, I stop having an idea how to say them. I'm American. I think I get a pass for that. The official purpose of the regency was due to her age at the time of her ascension, and all official records state that his regency continued after her majority due to her poor health. Joao Maria was never officially confirmed as the 8th Marquesa, though most official records state his title as such regardless. It is now believed that Eleanor's actual confirmation as the 8th Marquesa was suppressed primarily as a result of the scandals surrounding her relationship with a disgraced French nobleman, Lucien Dutoit. It is interesting to note, however, that she is mentioned in numerous non-official accounts as having once been quite the socialite. At one point it was rumored that her uncle was in negotiations to have her married to Lord Aberdeen, a prominent member of the British peerage, but this never came to fruition. Regardless, official documents seem to contradict these accounts, claiming instead that she was a recluse and remained so due to her poor health. What is known through the letters found in SB-3862-A is that the Marquesa travelled to England in May of 1851, and it was there that she met Lucien Dutoit, a social event held to celebrate the birthday of Queen Victoria. Here we have a letter from Lucien. I'm tempted to do a really terrible French accent, but it might be for the greater success of the stream that I do not, in which case I nominate present that Orla as the next best thing to a corner as we've got. handles Lucian.
Yeah, sure.
And then you have the role of... I don't know. And I'll just...
Fine. I hate you, though. I hate you. May
There is
19th.
a angry feminine chat, by the way. Please ignore them. We know them. They're allowed to be here. They're just... They're a thing.
Are they though?
Could you stop him?
I don't know.
The short answer is no.
Well, technically, yes, but there's a cost-benefit analysis to be done here, and we don't have time to get into this. The letter.
Yes. May 19th, 1851. Eleanor, it is with the utmost excitement indeed that I must express my joy at having had the true pleasure of meeting such an esteemed and yet alluring lady such as yourself. I admit that I found myself at a loss of words to adequately express myself upon our first meeting, though as the evening wore on I was unable to contain my adoration for your most exquisite company. I truly hope that the attention that I lavished upon you was not unwelcome, as that evening spent with you was and is one that I can not but cherish as one of my most enjoyable yet spent in this dour country. Your grace and eloquence speak directly to my heart, and I have found myself returning again and again in my mind to your cunning words and musical laughter. Would that I could but hear them both again, over and over, until they are all the sounds my ears can hear. Perhaps if you would be so inclined, we can continue to converse through this medium, though I fear that no matter how I agonize over the page, my own words will remain but a shadow of the way I wish to express myself. I wish nothing more than to devote myself entirely to the pursuit of your affection. For while our time together was short, I now see that there is nothing more in this world that can compare to the ecstasy of your smile and the warmth of your attention. Awaiting your answer, I remain with respectful affection, ever yours, Lucian.
Oh my god, that was bad.
Oh dear.
I have a profound hatred of Lucian already.
Okay, the next letter is fucking a bit with my dyslexia, but I'll try my best.
It's not obligatory. If you don't want to do it, you don't.
Oh, no, I want to try.
Oh,
It'll be fun.
If you ever want to hand it off, just let me know. Otherwise, how about it?
June 1st, 1851. My gallant Sir Lucian, it was with great regret that I pulled myself from your touch when finally we had to part. I was truly overjoyed to receive your request to write to me, and that was but a pale candle next to the glorious surprise of joy I experienced, glorious sunrise of joy I experienced when I realized I had received the actualization of your request. I read and reread your missive with ever-increasing excitement, and my ladies had to restrain me from heading off immediately to pen my response. I curse now that there is such distance between us, for even with the modernity of conveyance, I cannot live with the time that must lapse between reading your words. Be sure to write back to me the very day that you receive this, for even a small time to wait is agony within my breast. Forever I remain, breathless with anticipation at your reply, entirely yours, Eleanor.
And no log Gex. This is not Is that the implication that I'm, what, Lucian due to it? I'll go ahead and read the background for Lucian due to it. Need the heirs, Officer Lucian de also a Carcist, which, if you weren't aware, I'm not a big fan of the Carcists, mostly because they're a bunch of fuckwits messing with things they barely understand, and when they do understand them, they're usually trying to purge humanity in some novel way by manufacturing flesh abominations and death plagues that turn people into flesh abominations.
I thought
Look, to be fair, it sounds like a lot of fun.
I thought he was against cars. I'm joking.
Well, no, strictly if you're a Carcist, you believe there's one car that's superior to all other cars, and strictly speaking, no one really cares if one is a Carcist. In that context, I care if they're Carcist with a K, because that means they should probably be burned. Just as a matter of general public health. I'm sure there are exceptions. I mean, maybe not all Carcists. I understand they could use their plague meat-mancy skills for good. Ostensibly, there are some, local shamans who use their own blood to do good things like protect health. But strictly speaking, that's the exception that proves the rule. Okay, I guess. Birth unknown, death unknown. Almost nothing is known about due to it outside of the SCP-3862-A letters. All mention of him was expunged from French diplomatic records at the request of the Portuguese government. It is this very lack of available information that suggests the identity of Lucien due to it Nidiers is just one of many such personas assumed by this individual. What is known, and has been confirmed through various outside sources, is that due to it is the entity used by the Carcist of the Neo-Sarkic cult Société de la Tierre Sanglante, Society of the Bloody Flower, which makes them French and Carcists. And still, that's not the entire whole of why I have this deep hatred of this individual. French Carcists. How can they make Carcists worse? It is believed that due to it is the nom de guerre assumed by the Carcist after the fall of the July monarchy in 1848. Our understanding as to why due to it was positioned at the British court via the French diplomatic corps is purely conjecture, though through his letters we can assume that he was attempting to gain leverage amongst the British aristocracy in a hope to shift his flagging power base in France. And either his attempts to do so were blocked by an unknown outside entity, or he simply found that shifting to Portugal was a much more appetizing prospect. Either way, this is Arketer did make the move to Portugal, and due to it, utilized his connection with the Marquesa to secure a French diplomatic residency at the Palace of Santos. It is unclear how much of that delegation was made up of members of his society, but the impact of due to it shifting to Lisbon did ultimately result in the Palace of Santos eventually becoming the permanent French embassy in Portugal.
June 17th.
A letter from Lucien due to it.
Yeah. June 17th, 1852. Eleanor. These past few months have flown by in a flurry of your letters. The distaste I experience at returning to my work with this boorish louts that pretend at grace is only heightened by the heights of ecstasy I experience when I think to the words held upon the pages I carry with me, always near to my heart. Indeed, I have taken to carrying your letters in the breast pocket of my coat, and their scent has raised more than a few eyebrows when I walk into the chambers of Parliament. I care not for their irrelevant disapproval, even less now that I have such an excellent thing to share with you. I admit I am breathless still from my running here from the meeting with Count whatever. For I could not bear to merely walk in my excitement. Indeed, it is difficult to even write this, for my hand shakes so. For I am also afraid that to actually put pen to paper with my news, it will fade away to nothing, a mere phantasm of hope. Nay, I must write it, for to write it will certainly mean that our greatest wish has finally come to pass. Today, Not 40 minutes ago, I was told that my request to Count Armand has been granted. Not only that, I am to join him in barely a fortnight hence, where we shall travel from Paris to take up residence at the Palace of Santos. I could barely restrain myself from leaping for joy when that as well Whiskey spoke to me of disbelief that Armand would lower himself to take up actual residence in a palace of the bourgeoisie. Regardless, it is with the most profound excitement that I can relay to you that our prayers have indeed been granted, and that I shall be coming to stand at your side. May these days fly swiftly, for I hope to arrive within moments of the footman handing this letter to you. In eternal anticipation no longer, Lucian.
And there is to a Doc 24, a letter from Ellen.
August the 1st, 1852. My dearest love, there are not enough words in the entirety of the English language to express my longing for your immediate arrival. I detest the charade we must play in order for the whispers at court to not include the truth about us, for this language is so inelegant at times. Even so, that serves as nothing to dampen my spirits, for this letter will be waiting for you upon arrival. I know not how I will be able to maintain the decorum my uncle insists upon when face to face with the object of my affection. Just knowing that you are already within the borders of Lisbon brings me to true paroxysms of rapture. I feel as if I am floating, and I have been such since I first heard that you would be coming. I have ensured that you will be given the Willow Room for your own. The left sconce is the one that opens the way to the chamber I have set aside for us. I replaced the sconce in my own room with your gift, and this time when I caress its lovely stem, I shall be opening the way to you. I shall retire as soon as you have been welcomed, and I will await you there with bated breath and, dare I even say it, dampened thighs. With the weight of the universe suspended between heartbeats, I remain eternally yours, Eleanor. The thirst is real.
For that. And now I think we know what her letters smell like.
Fish.
SPF Internal Memorandum from Dr. Jamie Forster to Site Director Andreas Goss. Date 2013-0608. Update on the research into SP-3862. Our research into SP-3862 has already yielded several important findings, primarily among them the information on the Society de Hir Sangrante. Should we trade off on this, really, the other letters, I suppose? No.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Well, hold on. This is apparently a letter as well, just from an SCP goon.
Oh.
Okay, who's doing this? I need more effort to it. Dr. Jamie Forrester. Damn it, how come... If I only knew how to do Dr. Forster's voice from Mystery Science Theater 3000. That would be perfect. I don't, though, so I can't. But it would have been perfect. We knew that there was a secret cult involved in the July monarchy because that was one of the factors utilized by Her Majesty's Foundation to secure containment of the paranormal to justify their involvement in that whole affair. Our records from the HMF SCP only refer to the cult as the Society. And now that we have the full name, we've been able to trace more of the movements through our connections to the library. In addition to SP-3862, a box itself is fairly non-anomalous aside from being made of human skin. We think that the DNA samples that we're able to get from the leather belong to both Dutuit and Marquesa, The unit itself is so damaged by the lacquering process that it's difficult to be certain if it is, I could represent the missing element of SCP-3062 that we've been looking for. Perhaps Dr. Mercier and her team can utilize it in synthesizing vaccine. But that's only in the earliest stage at this point. Respectfully, Dr. Jamie Forrester, head researcher, SCP-3862. So, by the way, this means that if that guess is true, they apparently got together so they could give birth to a box, having made it out of themselves to some degree.
Slightly odd, but I've heard of worse ways to have children.
Did they name the box? Did they have a college fund for the box? I just personally feel lame, but I am hideously biased, as we know. Another letter from Lucian due to it.
September 13th, 1854. My volunteer... Whatever. Your skill at the... I can't read that word either.
Look, it's completely imaginary, and it's probably meant to cause some manner of throat chafing, no matter how you say it.
Okay,
so...
it means flesh crafting. Has improved dramatically, and it is only fitting that you rise to my side as my volunteer. The society has blossomed here in Lisbon, and I have only you to thank for that. Your aberrant and passionate embrace of
Another clearly imaginary word. I don't think that's in any form of... There's no language on this planet that would result from that.
Okay, has been inspiring, and it relieves my old heart to see someone as young as you show incredible skill. Including you in my great work has proven to be of immense worth and has been a source of tremendous joy. With you by my side, there is nothing that will stand between us and sorry, I'm being bad today. Apotheosis. Our ascension will be an orgy of flesh. Sorry. The purification of self through the bliss of orgasmic ecstasy. I long even now to run my fingers once again through this.
No.
Why are you making me read this? I fucking hate you!
At this point, it's mostly so I don't have to.
Do you want me to finish this?
No, that's fine. The fingers once again through the sudden folds of your viscera to feel your moist heart spread across my flesh to join as one inside of you. I shall rise into you, and through our union we shall unleash a new dawn upon the world. Lucian.
Is there one contrarian watching this right now who doesn't join me in complete and thorough contempt for this French carsist? They are the worst.
Horrible.
And I've been informed I have a new subscriber. Thank you.
3862-8, Doc 39, letter from Eleanor Tavora. Note, this letter appears to be hastily written and is stained multiple places with a dark substance that has attained a certain viscosity, despite the years it has been in containment. December 22nd, 1854. Master, you must flee. My pregnancy has not gone unnoticed, and Joao Maria is furious. We have been too lax in our precaution, and my uncle has gone to the vicar with his tale. You shall be cast out. I tremble at the thought of what the might of the church assembled against you will do, and I can do nothing but give you this warning and a single last gift. When I am done writing this, I shall use the remainder of my strength to ensure the birth of our child. She shall be a rising tide of our vengeance, and she will carry within her my soul, my hope for rebirth, within your loving embrace. Teach her as you have taught me, love her as you have loved me, touch her as you have touched me, for she will be I, not just I, but a better me, infused with your blessing, my dearest Lord, with a capital L. I shall leave her, along with this and all of our other letters, in our chapel. I only wish that I could be there to see you and her together with these eyes, that shall soon grow empty and vacant without my soul to light their lamps. In hopes for true eternity, yours, Eleanor.
Ew!
That was disgusting.
For full context, Aura Seraph is in fact a corpse piloted by a demonic entity, and this has thoroughly disgusted even them. So, I think, truly, we've hit a... Leave it to Cartus to hit new lows. SCP-3862-B Object Dossier, Researcher Dr. Amy Foster, Dr. Simrat Golzar, assisting, date 2013-09-12. Creation date, around 1852 to 1853. Physical description, object is a two-candle wall sconce displayed in an elaborate depiction of nature, including various flowers, leaves, and structural elements. Primary is the inclusion of a small white bird, possibly a dove, medium bone human, lacquered gold leaf, 24 carat. Dimensions 66.04 centimeters tall, 25.38 centimeters wide, and 5.22 centimeters deep. Object location, Antiquities Vault, Site 54. Notes of interest that the entire structure appears to have been grown as opposed to carved. Various imaging techniques have been utilized to determine that this was new growth bone, as is often the case in Sarkic and non-anatomical structures, such as the SK BIO Type 005 SCP 2095. We're not doing that now. What if this was created using pre-existing structures from a quote-unquote donor? What was found was that this was old-growth bone as signified by typical calcium density markers that have previously identified as restructured growth typically found in skeletal structures of biologically immortal entities. Additionally, DNA sample analysis proves that this is a match for the samples belonging to one of the individuals associated with SCP-3862-A. It is the conclusion of the research team that SCP-3862-B is an object of art created by Lucian due to it from his own body. Nothing says love like medical waste.
Yay.
Furthermore, represents the use of pre-existing bone structure primarily taken from the thoracic cage. Principally the ribs, sternum, clavicles. 3862, final report. We probably should trade off from the previous because this is also a letter. Still, it's the last one, so let's just trade off on them anyway. I mean, who cares if it's Site Director Andreas Gotz. It is a fair amount of personal regret I must inform you of the passing of Dr. Hemi Foster. While the results of his research are for our understanding of neopsychicism, I am uncertain if the loss of a brilliant researcher is commiserate with the information gained.
While such losses are often inevitable in the work we have sworn ourselves to, it is still something that we strive to prevent wherever possible. In this instance, it was my decision to allow reopening the research into SCP-3862 that ultimately led to Dr. Forrester's untimely and rather grisly end.
Nonetheless, we now know that the entity known as Lucien Dutoit may still be at large and represents a significantly greater threat than we originally realized. Dr. Lowe's insistent that Ion was not the likely creator of SCP-610 has been confirmed in a way that is truly terrifying for us all. Who knows how many of the horrific pathogens have been released upon the world have been the result of Dutoit's meddling.
The flesh that hates has the same lethality to everyone regardless of status, and murdering everyone doesn't fit with Ion's reported desire to free the oppressed. So, Dutoit is slightly worse than... Look, I'm getting distracted. I hate them so much. The historical puppet has always more or less agreed that Ion was generally too benevolent in his own way to have created and released a disease like that purely for vengeance. Unlike Dutoit.
The possibility of someone else being the architect of 610 has always been a theory, but absent a smoking gun, it has remained just a theory. A game theory! I believe that is that this is that smoking gun.
Attached, please find a transcript of Dr. Foster's final experiment with SCP-3862. May dissemination of his information bring forth a result that can assert my guilt.
Yeah, sausage.
Yeah, okay. Andreas Goethes, Site Director, Site 54. And then there's another transcript.
Yay!
We have two roles, Dr. Forrester and Dr. Golzar. Do we have any volunteers for a particular role?
No, thank you.
Yes, please.
Okay, with Forrester or Golzar?
I'll be Golzar. That sounds cooler.
Golzar is a fun last name.
Yeah.
But first things first. Date 2015 05 12 13 22. Researcher Dr. Jaime Foster. Being Spanishy with it. Research objects SP-3862A, B, and C. Forward, Dr. Forster was approved to conduct a single experiment involving all SP-3862 objects. Strict biological containment procedures were put in place, and Dr. Forster conducted the experiment while inside a Class 4 positive pressure biohazard suit. Containment vessels for all three SP-3862 objects were placed inside sterile room Beta, and Dr. Forster entered the sterile field alone with Dr. Golzar observing. Begin log. Dr. Forster enters the airlock with SR Beta and proceeds to dress in his protective suit. Oh, by the way, something I want to stress. I'm not making fun of you. I just want to know that word is... I don't know how to say it right. Does anyone? I just thought it was assuage.
It's assuage.
Assuage does not sound any more right than almost any other way you can say it.
It's assuage.
Assuage. Right. Mic check, this is Dr. Jamie Forster, sometime shortly after 1 p.m., March 12th.
Reading you loud and clear, Jaime. You sure you want to do this?
Dr. Forster finishes final checks in suit, seals, and gives a thumbs up to the camera. I have my reservations, but needs must. It is important to gauge exactly how virulent the Sigma pathogen actually is, and you know my opinion on using the D-class for stuff like this.
Oh, it was Sigma, that letter that you called E and I called Epsilon.
And I just go, eh.
Yeah.
Remember, and I don't want to look it up.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm starting the cycle now, you know the drill.
The light above the indoor shifts to amber, then shifts to green, and Dr. Forster opens it to step through the testing chamber. SCP-3862A and B containment lockers are situated on a large steel table in the center of the room, with SCP-3862C containment locker beside it. Assuage, really? Never mind. That doesn't sound soothing at all. Dr. Forster proceeds to the table and begins the procedure to open C. Let's get right to it, taking the table out first. Even after looking at these things as often as I have, I got to admit, opening them all together is a bit of a rush.
It is exciting, that's for sure. Just be careful.
Dr. Forrester looks at the camera and grins through the clear shield. Course. He proceeds to remove C from its locker and sets it out to the side. Over the next few minutes, he retrieves A and B and sets them both on top of C. You know, aside from the whole Sigma pathogen thing, these things are exquisitely made. Hard to believe they're just bone and hair. He gently caresses the surface of C. Even monsters can have feelings. He pauses again, looks at the camera, his hand still resting on the surface of sea. I think that Lucian really did care about the Marquesa. No one cares, Dr. Forster. Sorry. Goes on!
We've been over this. Due to it, wasn't a human anymore. He was only using her to get what he wanted.
Sure, he had an ulterior motive, but why would he make B for her out of his own ribs? That had to have been painful as hell, and the attention to detail, it had to have taken hours, carefully growing each element. He steps to the side and picks up SCP-3862-B, turning it over in his hands. Even if it is bone, this represents a level of craftsmanship that... He suddenly drops B a few inches to the table and clutches at his right glove.
Amy, what's going on?
Dr. Forrester turns away from the camera, shaking his head and stirring his right hand.
Amy, answer please. I'm a heartbeat away from dousing that room with aerosol fucking...
Yes, don't do that. These clothes are over 2 centimeters thick. How?
Damn it, Jamie. I'm pulling the plug on this. Get out of there now.
Dr. Forster shakes his head and turns back to the camera holding his hand. In the center of his palm is a long sliver of bone piercing directly through the glove. Too late, Samira. You know how nasty Sigma is. I can't risk contaminating the rest of the lab. Well, I guess we'll see how fast it works now. Pretty damn fast, I'd say. He pulls off both gloves and then proceeds to remove his helmet, instantly deflating the pressure in his suit. He draws a deep breath, looks at the camera. A bit of bloody froth at the corner of his mouth. It's been a pleasure working with you, Samira. I want you to know it. Dr. Forster proceeds to conclude the test schedule on the SCP-3862 objects. In the process, he also collects multiple tissue samples from himself, as well as culture samples of the SCP-3862 pathogen itself. Over the course of the next 60 minutes, he is shown to experience symptoms of rapid onset necrotizing fasciitis. I think most people here know that's a flesh-eating bacteria infection. Although, at 48 minutes, he is no longer capable of conducting the experiment due to the loss of the majority of the tissue on his right arm. He sits down with his back against SCP-3862-C. You know, Samira. I think I figured something out in all this.
Yeah, Amy?
We always wonder what happened to Eleanor and Lucian's baby. He is caught in the coughing fit, which I'm not going to emulate again, and afterwards appears to be incapable of speech. He reaches around behind his head and retrieves one of the sealed petri dishes containing one of the SCP-3862 pathogen samples from atop SCP-3862-C. He looks at the camera and taps urgently on the dish with the exposed bone of his left index finger. In luck. Afterward, at this point, Dr. Forster lay down on the floor where he expired 12 minutes later. A post-mortem examination of the room and the SCP-3862-B chest object revealed no obvious damage or origin point for the sliver that pierced Dr. Forster's glove. The object has been catalogued as SCP-3862-B2 and has been secured along with B. So, I'm guessing the implication is that
they're still
the
alive.
babe is the babby.
Oh.
Or was consumed by it. Maybe she thought she was popping out a babby, but it was just this plague. Really, in any case, I really hate due to it and causes in general. And I don't care if Ion is slightly less insane and malevolent. They're all Look, just because they managed to find a Colossus who's a little bit worse than the previous one does not make the previous one any more acceptable. So, let's raffle off a game.
Yay!
Again, we're raffling off. Shady part of me. Did anyone else want in on the raffle? We had, as I recall, Haven. Suzanne.
And the Lord Gex. And one more.
Oh, who?
I don't remember. There were 3 people being included.
You, Suzanne, and Lord Gex.
Yeah.
So that's everyone, yes?
Yes.
Shady part of me, anyone? Anyone want a shady part of me?
Do 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 do.
Well, we are 11 minutes past shutdown time, so let's get on with it. Once again, this game's final fate will be determined by random.org and a roll done in the order of who signed up. Haven signed up first, so their number we generate first, followed by Susan, and then Lord Getz. Here we go. Haven, your number is 43.
That's the highest I rolled in a long time.
And yet you won before regardless, so who knows what happens next. Susan, the next number is yours. 7. This does not bode well for you, but thank you for joining me, sir. Anyway, and we're not done or out of games yet, so you know, I want to pop in Saturday to the Arcade and try whatever that is, if it should amuse. And finally, at number 4, Lord Gex, who rolled 30. Haven,
Oh, snap.
you're getting shady part of me.
Yay. Thank you, Exodus.
Oh, right. Yeah, you did. Exodus, you just gave Haven, through the raffle, a shady part of me. Shady part of me. Yes. Thank you all who entered the raffle, and thank you all for watching. I suppose I can go ahead and linger for a few minutes longer to remind everyone that I will have the article raid happening on Saturday as scheduled. I'm pretty sure there's nothing that's going to interfere with it, although these past 2 weeks haven't been good for avoiding complications. And of course, tomorrow is SideQuest. I know it can't be rigged. Random.org. It's true random. It's been rigged. It hasn't been rigged by me. At that point, you're accusing cosmic background radiation, and I don't think cosmic background radiation gives a shit. Meanwhile, your boy Pat and any other content creator in the chat, if you'd like to promote your own things, this is the time to do so. And again, thank you all for not only watching, but also making this stream a success. At 18 likes, that's more than 13. That's all I really ask for this stream. Although, you know, throwing money at me is always welcome. But 13 likes, I really dig it. Hey, hold on. That's a kind of a
yes.
there, isn't it, Orla?
Gives him a hard time. That's what it does, okay?
Just let everyone fill in the blank and... Well, we know where your mind is at.
I had intended to have Kayla on as well. They were sent an invitation, but I'm afraid we're using Brave Talk, and Brave Talk didn't want them in, lying to them by saying the call was full. The real reason, person to blame here though, is Froman, who didn't host the call, so there was a limit on who could join. And apparently, even though it says you could have 4 people in the call without paying, apparently they don't bother to make sure it actually works that way. Until next time, so long as progress continues, success is inevitable. Of course, that progress, that's not, yeah, that itself isn't inevitable. That can be stymied by lots of ways, like tying nuclear fire. Wait, sorry, no. Happy thoughts, bye!
Enjoy your time until we meet again.
But do people really want to meet us again?
I don't know. Do they? Do they though?
Hope springs eternal.